I want to say up front that I didn't want to go. I need you to understand that, because it matters. It matters to me. It matters in ways I can't fully explain, and probably never will. Jordan wanted to go. Jordan planned it, researched it, printed a map of the trail from his apartment at 2 in the morning, and slid it across the kitchen table like it was a treasure hunt. I said no. He kept asking. I eventually said yes. That's the part I live with. My name is Noah. I'm 30 years old, and I'm going to tell you about the worst day of my life, the day I followed my best friend into Aokigahara Forest, and the day I came out alone. Jordan and I had been friends since university. He was 2 years older than me. 32, sharp, funny, the kind of person who could talk his way into anything and out of anything. We'd been talking about going to Japan for years. Not seriously, not with a plan, just the way you talk about things when you're young and busy, and life keeps getting in the way. Then we both had a bad year. Jordan lost his job. I ended a long relationship. And somewhere in the wreckage of all that, we looked at each other and said, let's just go. We booked 2 weeks in Tokyo, and it was everything we needed. The city is overwhelming in the best way. Noise and light and food, and a sense that the whole place is moving faster than anywhere you've ever been. We spent the first week just wandering. Night markets, ramen bars, temples, tucked between buildings that shouldn't exist in the middle of a city like that. Jordan kept taking photos of everything. He was the happiest I'd seen him in a long time. Then, at the end of week 1, he brought out the map. Aokigahara, the sea of trees, the forest at the base of Mount Fuji, about 2 hours west of Tokyo by train. You know what it's known for. Everyone does. Jordan knew. I knew. It's just a forest, he said. He had this way of saying things like that, not dismissive, but certain. Like the certainty itself was enough to make it true. People make it into something. It's trees and hiking trails. We go in, we walk around, we come back. I want to see if it's actually as strange as everyone says. I didn't want to go. I said so 3 times. And then I said yes, because it was Jordan, because it was our trip, because I didn't want to be the one who stayed behind at the hotel while he went alone. I have thought about that decision every single day since. We took the train from Shinjuku on a Tuesday morning. The city dissolved, gradually high-rises, giving way to suburbs, suburbs giving way to open farmland, and then the flat expanse of the plain around Fuji and the dark tree line on the horizon. The mountain was hidden in cloud that day. You could feel the scale of it even when you couldn't see it. The forest started abruptly. That's the thing nobody tells you. There's no gradual thickening of trees. One moment, you're on a road with signage and parking and vending machines, and the next, the trees are just there, dense, black-barked, ancient, like a wall that's been standing longer than anyone can remember. There are signs at the entrance, multiple of them, in Japanese and English. They ask you to think about your life, about the people who love you. They give phone numbers. Jordan read one and nodded like it confirmed something. They have to do this, he said. Liability. There was a keeper near the trailhead. An older man, maybe 60, in a green uniform. He spoke limited English, but enough. He walked us to the edge of the marked trail and pointed to the red rope that ran along either side of it, strung between posts, demarcating the path. He looked at us very carefully when he said the next part. Do not cross the rope. Do not leave the marked path. If you leave the path, you will not find your way back. Jordan thanked him politely. The man looked at me, not Jordan, just me. And he said it again. Do not cross the rope. Then he walked away. Jordan was already looking at his phone, checking signal. GPS works fine, he said. He has to say that. They say it to everyone. I watched the keeper walk back to the entrance. He didn't look back. I don't know why that bothered me so much. We went in. The silence hit me before anything else. I've been in forests, I grew up near one. Forests have sound birds, insects, wind moving through leaves, branches settling. Aokigahara had none of that. The trees absorbed everything. Our footsteps on the trail sounded wrong, too loud, like we were intruding on something that didn't want to be intruded on. The forest floor is volcanic rock, rough, black, covered in a thin layer of moss that makes everything look softened and ancient. Tree roots grow over and through the rock in ways that seem impossible, gnarled and twisted, reaching in every direction. The canopy overhead was thick enough to drop the light by half, even at midday. The further in we walked, the darker it got. Jordan was quiet for once. I noticed that. He kept looking left and right, off the trail, into the trees. They were close together, too close for comfortable sightlines. You could see maybe 20 or 30 feet in any direction before the trunk swallowed the view. At one point, Jordan checked his compass app, frowned, checked it again. "That's the thing about this place," he said, mostly to himself. "The volcanic rock messes with compasses. It's a geological thing." He put his phone away. "We stay on the trail. We're fine." We walked for 40 minutes. We didn't see anyone else. Then Jordan stopped. He was staring at something off to the left, past the red rope. A gap in the trees, almost like a path, though not a maintained one. Just a natural corridor between the trunks, running deeper into the forest. "There's something back there," he said. "Jordan, I just want to see what it is. 5 minutes." The man said, "Noah." He looked at me with that expression he had. Patient. Certain. Like I was worrying about nothing, and he was sorry I was wired that way. 5 minutes. I'll be right here the whole time. If I can't see the trail, I come back. Okay? I watched him step over the rope. God help me. I followed him. 5 minutes became 10. 10 became 20. The gap between the trees closed behind us faster than it should have, and when I turned to look back at the marked trail, I couldn't see the red rope anymore. Jordan, we need to go back. It's this way." He pointed. He was wrong. I didn't know which direction was right either, but I knew he was wrong. That's when the compass on his phone stopped working entirely. Not malfunctioning, just spinning. Slowly, then faster, then settling on a direction and drifting off it again. We both watched it for a long moment without speaking. The trees were closer here. The light was worse, and the silence was different than it had been on the trail, heavier, more deliberate, like something was holding its breath. Jordan turned in a slow circle. He said, okay, we just need to." He stopped. I saw it the same moment he did. A woman, standing between the trees, maybe 40 feet away. Pale clothes, white or very light gray. It was hard to tell in the dimness. Long dark hair. She was standing completely still, her back partly toward us, as if she hadn't noticed us, or as if she was waiting for us to notice her. Jordan exhaled. "Someone else is in here. She knows the way out." He called to her. She didn't respond. He took a step toward her. She moved not toward us, but deeper into the trees. Slow, steady steps. "She's going somewhere," Jordan said. "Follow her. Go." Jordan. We don't know who, but he was already moving. And I was already afraid of being left alone. She led us for what felt like 15 minutes, though time had stopped meaning much by then. She moved at a walking pace, always just far enough ahead that we could see her without catching up. Every time Jordan tried to close the distance, she seemed to drift further. But we could always see her. That was the thing. She made sure of that. The trees opened onto water, a lake or something like one, still and black and perfectly flat, surrounded on all sides by volcanic rock and tree roots. The water had no reflection. Even with the sky visible above, there was nothing in that surface, just blackness. The woman was standing at the edge of it. Jordan walked toward her. I grabbed his arm. He pulled away without looking at me. "Hey," he called to her. "Hey, do you speak English? We're lost. We need—" She turned around. I cannot describe her face. I have tried, in the 18 months since, and I cannot do it. It wasn't disfigured. It wasn't monstrous in any obvious way. It was just wrong. Like a face, assembled from memory rather than reality. Like something that understood what a face was supposed to look like but had never had one. She looked at Jordan, and Jordan walked into the water. Not slowly, not hesitantly. He walked like a man walking into a room he'd been in 1,000 times. Up to his knees, his waist. The water barely moved around him. I screamed his name. I grabbed for him, and my hand closed on fabric. And then the fabric was gone, and he was too far out, and the water was at his chest, and he wasn't struggling. That's what I can't shake. Even now, he wasn't fighting it. He was calm. His face was calm. His eyes were open, and he was looking at the far bank, and he just went under. I looked for the woman. She was gone. I ran. I don't remember deciding to run. I just remember running. Through the trees, through the dark, tripping on root and rock, screaming for help that couldn't hear me. I don't know how I found the trail. I don't know how long I ran. At some point, the red rope was there, and I went over it, and I kept running until I hit the car park and the vending machines and the road. The keeper was still there. He looked at me, and he didn't say anything. He took out a phone and made a call. Emergency services arrived within 20 minutes. They searched the forest for 3 days. They found the lake. They found evidence that someone had been in the water. They did not find Jordan. The official record says, missing, presumed drowned. The investigation is still technically open. I gave a statement. I told them about the woman. The investigator, a kind man who spoke careful English, wrote everything down. He didn't tell me I was wrong. He didn't tell me I was right. He closed his notebook and he said, "The forest keeps what it takes." I don't know if he meant it as comfort or as warning. I've been back home for 14 months. I see a therapist twice a week. I sleep with the light on. I don't go near still water. And sometimes, late at night, I think about Jordan's face in those last seconds before he went under. The calm of it. The absolute, total calm. I've never been able to decide if that makes it better or worse. I think it makes it worse. If you've been to Aokigahara, if you've walked that trail and felt that silence and seen something you couldn't explain, I want to hear about it. Leave it in the comments. I read every one. And to Jordan, wherever you are, I'm sorry I followed you in. I'm more sorry I couldn't bring you out.